Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on the free-to-play account. We already have 18,000 diamonds. Now, over the past day or two, we have pushed a lot of progression within the towers, also farmed out pretty much every event that we have, including getting a lot of the wandering balloons finished out, a lot of additional things, the hunting fields. We've been going through pretty much all of the content in the entirety that we can really build, that we can get out. And of course, we did have the reset over the week. So we did have the reset on both the weekly chests and of course the daily, like we have every day. Been farming a lot of the Temple Rift as well. What is going on? Lith is here. It has been a while since I've seen you on the streams. Christopher is here. Simon is here. Jaffa and Soul. Thank you guys for joining me. Want to hop on here, want to do some summons, and looking at what I farmed up, it's kind of crazy because we always talk about the towers and we have 59 time emblems. Again, like I said, when we look at Friday, Saturday, and then of course some of today, we farmed up 59 time emblems and 76 Stargazer scrolls. Now, of course, once you start getting through the towers and once you start hitting, I believe it starts at 125, you can start farming these like crazy, which means hopefully we can finish out Envy. Now, I've been working on Envy, also started working on Aurelia. We also do have some Draconic scrolls because we also got to the point where we got a copy of Hildwyn. Now, remember, guys, some of these Draconic heroes, including, we did look for Leviathan. It takes a crazy amount of time to build them out. So it is just really the everyday progression, everyday grind that we have in AFK Arena to make some progression. And even looking here, we did get lucky and picked up a copy of Umbriel. Again, a hero right now that we're not really using. But we also did get Valfura. We also got Kregor. We have picked up quite a few, including, like I said, we finally got the copy. And the one and only copy that we got right there of Hildwyn. Draconic heroes, of course, super expensive. I'm finally hitting max level and opening the Crystal Vault. Oh, yeah, the Crystal Vault. Most players don't ever get to see that or experience or really almost, if you're not part of the top very 1%, you're never going to see it. And I know it's kind of a system that rewards whales within AFK Arena. If you hit that top crystal level, it gives you access to it to get some additional resources. Isn't AFK Arena dying? Interesting enough, because AFK Arena, it's going on 7 years, which will be on April, for a mobile game. That is just absolutely unheard of for a majority of mobile games. The game does crossover. So most recently, we did see the crossover with really big crossover with Shahan, and then of course with Sun Jin Woo. This brought a lot of new players to AFK Arena, and the solo leveling crossover was really cool. We've seen it with all of the crossovers, even looking at Delicious and Dungeon. The crossovers, I feel like, really breathed new life into AFK Arena, and there are a lot of players. This game still makes tens of millions of dollars every single month. I believe even looking, it's pretty interesting because when you look at some of the analytics and stuff when it comes to games, I believe it was about 39th. I think it was 39th for mobile gaming. I'm bringing in around $30 million. Now, of course, that doesn't include anything that is in like the Mithril store. It doesn't include a lot of other things. So the game, even though it's not as popular as it once was, is it dying? There's still a ton of players within AFK Arena. And I know, and again, for me, I will play AFK Arena till it's done. It is still a game that I do enjoy every day, going in here and playing, getting a lot of loot, making a lot of progression. And honestly, it's making consistent progression kind of towards a goal. We're stuck at 35-12. So what I've noticed, and I'll show you guys where we are within the King's Tower. Most of these towers, you can see 370, 370, 280, 280. Because I came out of the gate and I did incredibly well with the Greyborns, we farmed up quite a bit of Greyborns. Also did the same with Wilders. Is when you look at the Lightbearer Tower and also the Brutal Citadel, we are getting power capped in those, and even the King's Tower. This is another point where I was getting power capped. Now, I overcame some of the formation, some of the power cap, by actually using my level 6, the Awakened Beast right in here. That did, but as you can see, even as of right now, with pretty much the 5, even if we put in the 5 strongest, we are still over the, or not at the power cap yet. We're not strong enough. We need more levels. We need more builds on the heroes. Unfortunately, we have been kind of stuck in a lot of different places because of the power cap that we've been seeing. And then when it starts getting into the campaign itself, 4 teams has been incredibly difficult again, because there are the 2 factions that we haven't really focused on very much. Yeah, 7 years, it is kind of crazy that it's still here. Lilith shoves every new player into companions. We've talked about that, yeah, and I don't know why the logic or the reason why they're still putting players into companions. It doesn't seem to make a difference. For me, it looks really bad. I was testing it and saw I could spend like $2K instantly. Looks hardcore pay to win. The thing is with the free to play aspect, you can come in here and play free to play and have the exact, if not a better experience. And again, this is my opinion, but when I look at coming in here and playing a free to play account and having kind of that pay to win account, I find it a lot more enjoyable, or the achievements mean a lot more when you're going in here on a free to play account, because it is a lot more and it is really earned. Even looking where we're driving through right here, we're ranked number 5 within here. We've been pushing this every single time that we have an opportunity to. It's a lot more rewarding, and it honestly is when you're coming in here and you are free to play versus pay to win. Because pay to win, of course, it is going to be the bigger wall that you have, the faster you're going to push progression. But it's going to be one of two really things in here. Either one, you're going to pay for progression, or two, it's going to be time to make the progression. That's really all it takes. Where again, looking at this account, we've been running it for about 2 months. I would say right about 2 months, maybe even a little bit more than that. But we've been pushing through a lot of content in here, and really unlocking everything, getting to the point that we have everything in here unlocked, even looking like thrilling voyages and a couple other things. We have just about all of them done. We just unlocked the Hunter's Notes, which are up right now. I'm gonna have to go through here again, farm all of the diamonds out of all of these different game modes. Really does make a big difference making progression. But I want to hop in here. I want to do some summons in here as well as answer these questions. If I'm saving SI40 for someone, would you say Sun Jin Woo, Skarath, Marcial, Saramira, or Wait? Out of those, Marcial is one where if you're using her, if you want Marcial to be best in slot damage dealer, she does require the signature item because she does buff herself. The magical pierce in here, again, if you want her to perform in those best in slot, it makes a really a lot of sense in there. Now, looking at Sun Jin Woo, even looking at Shahan, even though I know the recommended for both of those is the plus 40 signature item, I don't see a crazy amount of utility out of either of these. Now, of course, it could be incredibly early, like we've seen with some of the other dimensional heroes, is it might be just a little bit too early, or ultimately we might not see the utility that we're looking for out of there, which is kind of crazy. How do you accumulate so much gold? I'm level 480 and I'm always struggling. Gold, the biggest thing and one of the biggest drivers in here for gold is the King's Tower. Guys, when you look in here, I mean, you get, what's that, 5,630K. If you're going in here, and sometimes I come in here and I was running like 20, 30, 40, 50 floors. If you do the multiplication factor of 50 floors, not including everything else you get in here, the King's Tower is one of the places you get a ton. You absolutely get a ton of gold in here. So if you're struggling, it is definitely a place. My experience, if you're not a competitive player, you can play this game as free to play. Yeah, free to play. And like what Liz said, I tried another game. This game is at its worst is so much more free to play friendly than other games. So Liz, you know, through all of the years, guys, we have tried a lot of other games. We have played a lot of other games. Honestly, AFK Arena, when it comes to the free to play aspect, it is super, super friendly when it comes to free to play. There is nothing that is really locked behind the paywall, which I know a lot of games. I played Idle Heroes. I've played a ton of mobile games through the last probably 10 or 12 years. And there are a lot of games where things are literally locked behind 100% guaranteed paywall that you have zero access to it if you're not putting money into the game, which again, AFK Arena, it's just going to take time to get through a lot of things. And again, looking at the free to play, even Beast Grounds, guys, I have 1,100 baits in here. So over, I know all of the events, everything we had with the the Nightfall Pegasus, we have 1,100 baits in here. We have been saving these for quite a while. But out of all the events, out of everything we've gotten, I have chosen to get baits. The reason is we want to get these beasts built up to 18 as soon as we can. And of course, once you hit 18 within the beast resonance, you're done. A couple of weeks ago, right there what Miko said, I hit beast resonance 18, biggest feeling of euphoria ever. That is it. It is very, very interesting. I'm pretty competitive in other games. Yeah, guys, like I said, in here, if you really do want to be competitive, and if you're going to be competitive in nature, um, especially the PvP aspect, it is money. It is going to have to be money. That is one area, really within any game that I have ever played, the competitive aspect of the game itself, usually I think every single one of them revolved around PvP. If you want to win in PvP, it's going to cost a lot of money to win in PvP. And that again is really the competitive nature of the beast. And of course, the competitive nature of mobile gaming itself. It is expensive. So in there, guys, we got a piece for Ivan. It's been a long time since we've gotten a piece for Ivan. Now, of course, we're trying to get all of these built up to the 9 of 9. We only have one more with Liberta. Then we can drop them out. We can put in some new heroes in here and continue just swapping these through with the Poke coins. Now, we know Poke coins you are going to need forever. And Poke coins, of course, we do need forever. Baby steps, guys, little by little, as we get more Poke coins, as we get more furniture. Because even thinking of the heroes we started with, so we had Randy, and then we did have Ivan. Now, both of those were the Ascended heroes that we had first. They are still not up to that 9 of 9 furniture. Again, when you think about the time that it takes to build these heroes out, but once we get a lot of these regular kind of built heroes that we're already seeing, there's not a ton of above and beyond there to really build. Sunju Moose seems solid in Treasure Scramble. I don't know the difference between 30 and 40. And again, Christopher, it almost seems like they're not into the primary team comps, or they're not in really the meta team comps. I'm not really seeing a big use of either of them, which I really hoped we would, which is kind of crazy. Moving forward, everyone will struggle with gold. Gold, yeah, the big thing with gold, guys, and I did it in here as well, right there. The baits, the baits take the gold. But honestly, once you have Beast Resonance 18, I know you need the baits in here to actually build out additional levels when it comes to the beast itself. But again, it's just going to be a matter of time before you get them. And I know a lot of accounts have a ton of excess gold, doing the exchange in here really does make a big difference in there. I thought Treasure Scramble was great for gold grinding. It is, but there's not much you can really do in Treasure Scramble, because what's going to happen, Poppy, is you're going to set your team in Treasure Scramble, and that's it. You're just going to set it and forget it within the Treasure Scramble. There is nothing else you're going to grind in the game mode. As much gold as it gives you within the Treasure Scramble, there's not really a way to grind it, like continue doing it over and over and over again. That's why exactly you can't really grind the Treasure Scramble, but you can farm it. I mean, you can definitely set your teams, make it, and really push as much progression as you can within there. Grinding it, like I said, you can't really grind it a ton, just for the fact that it's kind of runs itself within there, which is pretty cool. Let's hop in here. Let's get into, is it worth 5-starring Misha? I am. So the big thing with Misha is Misha does require the defensive ability. So the higher you build her with the stars, it's going to give her more stats. More stats equates to more defense. Defense is what Misha needs to be incredibly successful. Even when you go in and you do build out her, and I'm going to get more of my hero EXP because we have a ton of essence. I'm sitting on 83,000 hero essence. I need EXP like crazy. We have a lot of stones in here. Look at this, guys. We have 12 elite hero stones. Again, this was farming out the Wandering Bloom. This was the Peaks of Time. We've been farming it quite a bit. Haven't even went into the Misty Valley this time. So again, it's going to be interesting. And yeah, like I said with Misha, I would leave her in there just because there's not a ton of wilders that you really want to build out. But yeah, you can definitely use it for the stats in there. The 18 Bs having Spectator, Shroom, so much more. Yeah, the 18s make a big difference, guys. Let's see who we got in here. And look at that, Saramira. Now they say, and again, thinking of our early player guides that we were talking about, to pick up 1 copy of her. So that's going to be pretty cool to see. We get Hendrik out of here. Again, the human wall, which is pretty cool. I still remember when he came out. Who else did we get? Got a couple more copies. So we got a copy right there. A couple more pieces of food, which is always good. Could this be an Awakened hero? Now, if you guys remember, we already did pull 1, which was the Awakened version of Solus. So we're going to have to see if we can pull another one, which we do not, but I'll take a copy of Palmer. Also get Saurus in there. Now, the rest of these, I'm going to save these. I don't even think we can exactly. We only have 4 slots remaining. Want to do some summons in here, but we're starting to get a lot of heroes essentially that we're not going to use. Now, I know Gorin, we do want to build Gorin up. We are building Naruko right now. We need additional copies of Ika. We're getting, again, a lot of copies of heroes that I feel like we're not really going to use. Which, you know what? I'm going to throw up a poll in here just to see. We'll start a poll. Should we be using some, let's say using fodder heroes as food? That's a good question. I want to see if we're going to go with yes or no in the poll. Just because, and what I'm thinking of fodder heroes is like, even thinking in here, Belinda, for instance, the original version of Belinda, I'm probably not going to use. Folks, I'm probably not going to use. But even looking at some in here, like a K-Sauce, chances are I'm probably not going to use any copies of K-Sauce. And I mean, you can kind of go on and on in here, even thinking of the original version of Solus, you know, Kaz, a couple of them that we're really, again, not going to use for an extended amount of time, or probably not going to use anywhere, just because as we continue going through all of the heroes that we have, using them as food, using them as fodder, even like Lady Simona, I will build. But even thinking of like the original version of Shamira, we have 3 copies of Shamira in here. We could definitely use those for food instead of just stockading them. And then, of course, doing the summons itself are going to be the exact same. We're going to get a lot more copies of heroes out of here. Let's burn through these singles. Now, we're still looking to add a couple more stars to a few other of the key heroes. Again, we have been following the new player guide that is on the homepage of the channel itself. Still following that almost to the T. And honestly, the other question is diamonds. I mean, a lot of these, even looking at our wish list, we have a lot of these already at Ascended. Do we continue diamonds in regular summon fashion? Do we move them to the Stargazer and start running through diamonds in there? Or do we do Draconic Heroes? There's a lot of different things in there that we could absolutely do. Is Lysander still worth building? Lysander is one that we are seeing them used a lot of places. Honestly, we are seeing yeah, Lysander, and again, I don't know how high you have to build him. 1 copy gives the buffs when he comes in there. And honestly, I pulled a copy in here of Lysander very early. We actually pulled another copy out of a summon. He works when you come into battle. All of his things at the start of battle work. That's usually when a lot of players, I mean, the same can be said with like a Sun Jin Woo. He works at a very, very basic level, which is where a lot of players are keeping them at that very basic level. That way they don't have to really over invest in there with a lot of them. Let's hop in here. So we do have Maulers in here. So let's see if we can get some more copies. And again, thinking of the Maulers, they are one that we need more food. We need more food. It's gotten to the point, and I feel like we are almost like overrun with a lot of the fodder heroes and being able to get more summon of the heroes themselves. But there are so many heroes, and I just think of the wish list, and I mean, how many you have of each faction. It's incredible to see, again, kind of how overrun we are with the amount of heroes that we do have in here. I need more diamonds for Velfura. Yeah, Velfura is pretty good in there. Should I postpone building Demia for the new Celestial? The problem is when you postpone, so when we start thinking of the hero, like we were talking right there with Demia, is as it sits right now, we know where Demia is being used, and we know which formations Demia is doing incredibly well in. You could wait to build the new Celestial, but we know Demia is already sitting in that SSS tier, still seeing a lot of utility. And I believe, if I remember, the Cursed Realm as it sits today, we actually seen her as the best in slot damage dealer, which we haven't seen in a while. So dependent on the boss, she does carry a lot of weight within here. Yeah, she's another one that will work without a huge build, just because of that cheat death aspect that she has. But overall, I mean, there's a lot of heroes that work or you shouldn't invest. And honestly, the new one, wait. Yeah, wait. So Celine was okay. I feel like Celine might not be a primary damage dealer within AFK Arena. I know, again, it is very early based on where the hero was. But I almost feel like she's going to be kind of a support, or maybe even a sub or like a secondary damage dealer. And again, I know it's very, very early with Celine. Um, it's really just seeing where she's being used. Let's go in here for some maulers. Again, we're building Naruko. We want Gorin. There's another copy of Crescio. And then in here, I'm going to save my desired hero summons. And what do we think about diamonds? I mean, right here, we said fodder. Wow. Yeah, a lot of people are saying yes to using the fodder. Let's go in here for Aurelia and look at that, Rhea. Rhea is summoning for Aurelia as well. So I am going to join Rhea right here. We have 76 cards, and I think we only have our Elite Plus. So we still do need a lot of resources and a lot more. And I'm hoping we can pull the diamonds. I would love to see the diamonds out of here, guys, getting that 30K. And there we go. There's one more copy of Aurelia. Come on, can we get at least one more in here? Getting a lot of cards, getting a lot of Ghoulish Gallery, getting a lot of totems in there. We have 6 more left. You know what? Let's just do one more 10. We use a couple diamonds in here. And not another copy in there. Oh, that stinks. That stinks. Let's go ahead and end this poll up here. Yeah, Demia works at 1 copy, doesn't need the investment. You need delay and build whatever you feel like. Yeah, the new Celestial's DPS needs to be built. And again, we don't know exactly where she's going to be used. We know any of the damage dealers, like what Finn was saying, when it comes to damage dealers within an AFK arena, even looking at Envy, which we need 1 copy, guys. We need 1 copy of Envy. They are 100% dependent on the build. They have to be built out. All of your damage dealers have to be built out and built out to a level that they will perform because they have to be backed by stats. Come on, is it going to make us burn all of our cards in here? Not seeing any of our diamonds, and there we go. So there is the 1 copy we needed. So that will finish out Envy up to Ascended. Now the question is, who do we go for next? That is going to be a very, very good question in there. There is another copy of Aurelia. I believe that is going to, again, level that copy up a little bit. So that will take her to Legendary. A little bit more, we'll get the signature item on there, but that does take Envy up to Ascended. Then we have to swap. You know what? Let's use the cards in there. Let's try to add the star in there. Yeah, Miko, that's what I was hoping. Awaken Zora, or Zora, because there is no Awaken version. Is pulling 1 enough for tower progression? I don't think Zora is. I don't think Zora is going to work as well without the build. So there we go. So we did build him up again. I'm thinking diamonds, and I'm going to put diamonds in here. I should have probably waited. We know we have our new hero in there, but we know, guys, the priority that Envy does build. Let's try to get, and we need 3 more copies in here, which is going to work. We need 3 copies of Envy. Come on, this is only 3 pulls in here. Could we get something? Look at that. Oh my goodness. You talk about streamer luck, guys, and they called it right there out for us. Welcome to the stream. We pulled a copy of Aurelia. We dumped diamonds in there. We needed 3 copies of Envy, and look at that. Wow. That is some insane luck on a double right there, guys. That only leaves us 1 copy that we do need. Wow. That is absolutely epic on the pull. Double copies. We need 1. Wow. That was very, very cool. I was going to say, if we get it in the next one, that would be crazy. 1 more copy. What do we got? Did we use them all? No, we still have 10 more. Oh, I'm going to save them. I'm going to save them because we already got them to Ascended. Let's use our last 2, though. Could we pull it on the last one? Could we get the very last one? Oh, no, it's not. That's okay, though. That's okay. I am okay with it. And I am very, very happy that we did use our resources in there, that we did use those resources. That was awesome. This, of course, is going to add 5,833 million. That is going to be an insane amount of EXP right there. Let's pop open all these cards. There's double food. Inoki. Inoki's another one, like we just said in the poll. I think I'm just going to use the copy of Inoki as food, even all of these rare cards in the entirety. Plus, we have all of the blue stones as well. Yeah, I'm going to be able to build quite a few more heroes. I am very, very happy with the pulls we just got out of there, which is crazy. That is going to be awesome. All my pets are only at level 5 except the Awakened pet. 1 max is level 6. Pets, honestly, you just got to build. You just, like I was saying earlier, guys, building out the beasts and building out the pets. And there we go, guys. That adds another full level in there. Like I said, with everything that we have going on, we are so far behind and so stuck on the power creep in so many different places. We have to build so much. Oh, and there's another 500. Could we do it? Maybe. No, some more gold. That's okay though. I'm not too worried about it. All right, so let's hop in here. Let's build up some more of these. I think that's even another star to Trichia. Now, Trichia, we are building up to 5 stars as well. So if I'm going to use those fodder heroes, we are going to go in here with food, go through, and I'm going to have to go through later and see, because we have a lot that we can build. For instance, if we take like a copy of Hogan, we can double copy, because again, old school fodder heroes like Belinda, which again, we will get more copies we could build her in the future. That is going to give us a legendary plus, allowing us to actually build up Rosaline a little bit higher, which is what we're looking for. So when Rosaline follows anyone in formation, even when Rosaline follows Scarlet in here, we're going to have the signature item. We're going to be able to build that out. Yeah, that is going to be kind of crazy. The new pet. So interesting enough. So Finn said the new pet is trash. Now, honestly, guys, when it comes to early game, I went in here and I was using the Treat Spectator, went through a couple different pets. The Nightfall Pegasus early game Finn does work incredibly well. It really, really does work incredibly well. Let's do some summons in here for the new beast. Again, I know I already have them up to 6, so I'm going to go ahead and continue getting some more copies in there. And I thought we seen one of our, I mean, resource-wise, guys, that is awesome. Even all of those, almost getting enough. And again, we have 1,100 baits in here. We are going to continue building this, like I said a little bit earlier. We're focusing on 2 really big things, which are right now. Let me pull it up, because I know we're looking again at 2 big things in here right now, which is following the beast list. I want to make sure that we don't lose sight of the beast list that we're using itself. So we're building the owl, and we're building, and I think we have them both in here. Because in here we're building the owl, we're building the ice crown. Ice crown's going to 6, owl is going to 6. We have them at 3, and then I think the ice crown we have at 1. So again, we have a lot of summons in here to do. And this should finish out the rare. There's another copy of our owl. Again, owl is going all the way to 6. Same with the ice crown. We get any seal copies, which right there is a seal copy. That is going to be another one. We are just going to build the seal over and over and over. There's another copy of our ice crown. Going through the baits, guys, it goes through the baits so fast. I love being able to just summon the 100 at a time. Even there, we have 1 extra copy off to the side of our secret spice. Gonna have to continue farming out, but secret spice, we're gonna go in here and let me see, because I think the owl, that builds 1 more on the owl, and then we need 3. Ice crown, we got, I believe this is gonna be what? Oh, only 1 more. Finally, boom, rare pets are done, which is awesome. Ice crown does nothing. Yeah, before 12, the ice crown doesn't do much. I know, like, even looking here at the seal doesn't do a lot before level 9. There are a lot in here. Now, of course, all of these bonus ones are going into right there. We'll put that 1 into the owl. Building out again, another level on the owl. We're taking them to 6. And we have a whole line of beasts that we are taking to 6. Once we get to 6, like I said, we're going to work on our beast resonance and building these out in the entirety. And you can see 1 more on the owl and 6. Now, when it comes to having them at 6, we are not going to resonate them. We are getting a bunch of beasts up to level 6. Then when we do the resonance for the resonance trick, we're actually going to get the seal built up much, much higher, which is what we're kind of focusing on here. Yeah, like I said, with the Awakened Beast, this beast has been really effective at a lower level. It has worked incredibly well. So let's go ahead and drop our new hero in here, which I don't even believe. I don't have the Hippo room. And I don't have the diamonds. I don't have the diamonds to build up the Hippo room. We're gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to wait till we can buy out the rest of those 300. We don't have the diamonds. Yep. So that's okay though. I'm gonna go ahead and just drop him right in here. Now for Envy, I believe we already have a majority of his furniture built. So this is gonna make a big difference because we can drop him in there. Boom. We'll get our in right there. Now let's equip. I believe that takes him to 2 of 3. Now, like I said, with the storeroom, I thought we have one more piece. So we already have the 3 of 3 for him there, which is awesome. How to get Awakened Pet to level 6? Level 6 was easy. Level 6 was free, Finn. It was literally the free stuff we got on a free-to-play account that we pulled. And like I said, now I think it's taking three copies across the board. Yeah, we got it to level 6 pretty easy, especially early. What's going on, Carol? Purple butterfly. Yeah, the Hippo tower is going to be awesome, especially throwing all of the furniture on him, getting him up to ascended, and really getting him from the mythic all the way up to ascended is a game changer when it comes to the amount of damage that he's going to put out. And then, of course, when we get that last piece of furniture on there, which will be in just a minute, this is going to, again, make a really, really big difference. And also with Liberta is almost done. We need one more piece of furniture in there. Even his engraving, I think this will finish him out to the 30. There we go, guys. So there is the 30 engraving. And again, systematically, we're going through here and we're building this out. And I believe even with Envy, we need a couple more copies, which is going to be awesome. We need Pet Resonance. Yeah, if we did Pet Resonance to 36, yeah, that would be kind of insane to build it up that high, that fast. Now, again, we have Aurelia up to Legendary. We also do have Ulna up to Legendary. I know I stripped all the gear off of them because I was going through and running towers. I forget which tower I was running. I think it might have been, I might have taken all the gear. We were going, like I said, we've been running a lot. Saving the cores for Envy, yes. Right now I am. I'm going to save everything else till we get that last copy of Envy. That way we can go ahead and we're going to engrave him in the entirety. Like I said, with everything else, we're going to have to go through and we're going to have to really farm up to where we need to be, because I know, look at that, guys, another 360 stones out of there. That is absolutely epic. Building that out. Now, Nightfall Pegasus. What do we got? 6? No, this one's leaving. I'm going to say why I didn't know why it pinged me in there. But there we go. We'll pick up some more loot right there. I think that is everything that we have. Did we bust open all of our... Oh, we have a couple more boxes in here. 33 million. That is going to, of course, give us some more levels. Going to have to use those cards. I thought I got this. And this was through Summoning the Beast. We actually got that Legendary Bizarre Totem card. Gives us the Spellcaster Blessing, which is awesome. I think all the stones are here. Again, I'm going to have to make room for the rare stones. We only have 17 left to be able to actually pop all of these and build up. And again, going through the wish list, even thinking of all the primary heroes that we have within the wish list, a majority of the primary heroes are pretty well done. Starting to get, again, a couple of those built up just a little bit higher in levels. Dragon Isle, I'm going to do the same. Now, we know that we started building out Leviathan. We have 4 scrolls in here. Wish list in here is already full. Anyone that we can pull, even if it's copies of Gorgie, just building it up a little bit further. But anyone that we can pull in here is going to be a game changer. Honestly, we've been making a little bit more progression within here. And then Dragon Heart Temple, we have 1, which that is the free one we got. So, of course, 1 summon for Leviathan. Boom, got another Draconic. And Dragonforge Trials, like I said, we made it through 1, got through 2, got through 3. 4 has proven to be a little bit difficult because, of course, we only have the very basic version of them. I feel like we can probably get through it with a little bit of a rework, but it's going to be interesting to see, because reward calculation, I think it's got another, 46 hours. And I know a lot of players are not too happy with this cooldown. What's going on, Risk? Thank you for joining us for the stream. Do you think Zephyriel's collection, the Stormwrath, is good for Zora? It is. It depends. Now, a lot of players, Crystal Heart, wonder about the collection. So we know I was doing a couple of the AFK Arena shorts. Now, when it comes to collections, there is not a collection that literally just fits every single hero. That's where I talk about the collections being more of what game mode are you running the collection in versus where are you using the collection. So when we start looking at some of the collections, or even some of the leaderboards, like looking at Julius, our Mega Kraken in here, is you'll notice that we do have collections in here. And now if you're running even this iteration of the Cursed Realm when it goes through the rotation, these will actually change. When you go to the Nightmare Corridor, the collections are going to change because it is an entirely different game mode. And it is also going to be based on what you have and who you're running. And then looking at the Treasure Scramble, it's going to be, again, incredibly different then what we're seeing, for instance, most of the iterations within the Treasure Scramble do run Tassie's collection, the Luminous Flight. Most of them are running that over again with the Tassie's collection in the Treasure Scramble. Some players do run it in here as well, because you can see, look at the build in here. And of course, like I said, it's a really big Kraken. I mean, look at the collection right here, especially because you're running 5 attack in here. And I know Julius is kind of crazy on his account. You can even see all of these collections are 8 of 8 builds, just based on what they have inside HP. So pretty much building them exactly how he wants. But even right here, guys, there's the Storm Wrath, like you said, on Zora. Yes, right there is Zora. Right there is the Storm Wrath Lull, again, being run within the Cursed Realm that you're seeing right here. Skill level, crit damage amplification on the build does work incredibly well. But like I said, it depends what game mode you're running, because a lot of players will ask when it comes to a support hero, you know, who should I run? Or let's say you're running Ivan, what collection should you run on Ivan? It's going to make a difference depending on what game mode you're running. And then of course, when it comes to Rain's collection, this one specifically is going to matter, because you're only running, I believe, 1, possibly 2, depending on where you have the collection built to maximize it. So you're not going to run 4 of those. You're going to mix and match in those. What are the best to buy with Labyrinth tokens? And what is going on, Ryan? I don't think I've seen Ryan in a while either. Within here, with the Labyrinth coins, I have actually been buying red chests after I buy 1 hero. So we are building Robin Hood as it sits right now. But generally speaking, Robin Hood, and then buying out the Legendary Bizarre Totem card. The reason being, when it comes to the Ghoulish Gallery, when it comes to getting legendary totems, they are just ultra rare within AFK Arena. A lot of times, and again, if you are like a free-to-play player like I am, when you come into the Ghoulish Gallery, you get 10 arcane staffs. If you're not buying them out, chances of getting what is in your wish list is almost slim to none, because you only get 1 single chance and 1 single summon every single week. So for the last 3 weeks that we were in here, we did not get any of these Legendary Bizarre Totems. Now, as it sits right now, we've gotten a couple of them. I still need a level up, which we know we do have this one here. So I would actually go in here. This one, again, we could get a level up. I'm going to wait just to see if by summons or by chance I get one somewhere else. That is the reason why I save my resources up into the point where I'm going to be using it. And then I really make sure that we're using it in the best possible scenario based on the build. Now, right now, we are building up Rem a little bit further. And I believe we're almost, yeah, that takes us to a 29. We'll get her to a plus 30 signature item, still throwing furniture on her, and then Rem will be done in the entirety. And if you're anything like me, guys, I literally go through a checklist. So right now, you always have 1 4-faction hero that you're really working on, 1 Celestial or a Hypo that you're working on, 1 Awakened hero that you're working on, and then, of course, you can mix in some of the Draconic heroes if you are actually getting them, or the Dimensional heroes if you don't have them built. I circle back around with a couple of them just for the fact that I have to see what is coming and what I do have access to, and what I really do pull out of a lot of different places. Why haven't you Garrison Shuna? So Garrison Shuna, I've been running out of resources. So I know in here, and it's funny because I was actually going to Garrison her today. I did re-up right here with Rem. I had, I believe, 13 days left, or maybe 16, 18 days left. I only need 3 more times and Rem will be mine forever, but I do need Shuna. I know there are a lot of formations that are running Shuna in the exchange itself, which I might have enough in here. And I don't like, it doesn't tell me like how many I got. I wish it kind of calculated it, or there was a number up here. So you actually have to do kind of the manual calculations in here. I might not have enough to do another one. No, see, we don't have enough. I'm just going to have to save some resources till we get enough, because that's what, 15, 26, 27, 28. Yeah, so we're at like 32 right here. I'm going to have to wait to get it. I'm going to have to wait to get it risk. And honestly, those are the 2 that you need to get out of here. Shuna's utility in a lot of different game modes do work incredibly well. Rem is another one. We already had Garrison twice, so this is the 3rd time. Like I said right here, 3 more times, and she will be us. She'll be ours forever. So even if I go ahead and use her, and honestly, I was hoping, and fingers crossed, I was hoping that Shahan was going to take the place of Rem. Unfortunately, that was not the case at all. So when I went in here and I was building, as you can see right here, a plus 25 signature item, I've been building out Shahan, and I was hoping Shahan would take the place for Rem, but even having an overbuilt Shahan does not and has not taken the place of Rem. I really hoped again that it would, that getting her for free, meaning that I would no longer have to garrison Rem at all. That is not the case, and that is not the case at all. I tried it in campaign formations. I tried it even within the tower itself, running Rem within these formations, even looking in here. Yeah, running Rem in here, and that's going to be a lot stronger now that we do have them built up a little bit further. But again, running Rem in here made such a difference, because if I drop Rem out and then we dropped in Shahan, really did make a big difference. And look at that, Ryan, what is going on? So that is the 10th super that we have gotten on a live stream. It sent me a notification. Thank you 100% for the super chat in there. That is absolutely epic to see, guys. Anytime that we do most pretty much everything that we have, we put back into the pay to win account. So that is absolutely epic. Thank you, Ryan, for the super chat donation. But like I was saying, guys, we put Shahan in here and it didn't work the same, and it doesn't work the same as having Rem. I had really hoped that was the case, that we would be able to essentially replace one hero with another. Like I said, that wasn't the case at all. And even we're getting to the point where primordial emblems, we're able to use those, and we're taking all of the heroes that we're getting to mythic up to the plus 20 signature item. So even when we break it down right here, most of these are, yep, plus 20, plus 19. So we will finish this one out. There is the plus 20 right there. Then we have a plus 20, and then a plus 10. She will be the next one going to our plus 20. And guys, like I had said earlier, it is literally just going through their baby steps. The Rem doesn't need anyone shot, does nothing without, yeah, Sun Jin Woo. So I ran them both together too. And I don't know if it's because I don't have a really big build on them, but I did run both of them together as well. And still, I didn't see a lot of utility with either of them, or running them both together. I didn't see, I couldn't beat the stages where I could beat him with Rem. That's it. Rem needs Ivan sometimes, she does not. It depends, Soul, on who you're fighting. That is the big thing. And again, so are the new dims just terrible? They're not doing a lot of damage. Honestly, out of the two, Sun Jin Woo seems like he's doing a little bit better. Some formations that run together, but when you start looking, and again, thinking of Shahan as a very strong DPS hero, really the damage that we're putting out. When you look in here, even right there is Lucius. Then we have Scion in there, also running Skarath in there. There is Zora. There's Envy. We have, again, there is the buffer that we want to pick up. Last one's hidden, which I think Yumiko is in here. And again, they're not being run in here. Marcial is broken, guys. We are seeing Marcial in a ton of different formations, doing incredibly well, maxing out the damage. Again, Sun Jin Woo and Shahan not being run in either place, which kind of stinks. I missed the next hero. Yeah, it's a Celestial hero, and it is a burst Celestial hero with a lot of really support, I guess. That's the way that I would kind of put it, is you're getting a lot of support with the new hero itself, which again is kind of interesting, because it seems like every single hero we get, even thinking of, the awakened version of Estrilda, it seems like every hero that we're getting has a very big part of support in there, is what we've been seeing as of lately. So in here, guys, I do it the same as always. We'll go ahead and run through with our top 4. This is going to give us, of course, all of the resources. Yeah, we're going to have to see where she's at. We're really going to have to see. She can get her own log in Soren. Yeah, works incredibly well. Who do you want to be the next Awakened Celestial? So interesting. I don't know if they're going to do an Awakened Celestial or a Hypo, or if they're just going to keep doing what they are now of introducing brand new heroes. It's going to be interesting to see how they build out the storylines that they're talking about, even how the new Celestial is kind of built in the storyline. If you guys caught the video or the cartoon that they had about how it's kind of built in there. Again, it's going to be interesting to see if they do it or how they do it. So we know tomorrow is Monday. Monday should be the patch notes, meaning that Tuesday is going to be the new hero, which is kind of odd as well. Because if you guys remember on the test server, they came out in a weird order and not the traditional patch sense that we've seen them before. So yeah, we're gonna have to see exactly what that looks like when it comes to them. You know, I built everything in the game from beginning, so took each new thing as it came. I feel so overwhelmed to watch you build from the beginning with all the current stuff. Yeah, and I know Lith, it's a lot. And that is why new player guides, a lot of things like that are just absolutely vital because there is so many heroes. And I don't know if there's something they do, if they I don't know if there is anything they can do, I guess, to kind of streamline some of the heroes or streamline some of the new players. I mean, when you start looking at AFK Arena and there's what 160 plus heroes, when you look at a newer player coming into the game, you have no clue what in the world is going on because there are literally so many heroes within the game itself. It's incredibly overwhelming. And again, this is feedback I've gotten from a lot of players that it's very overwhelming coming into the game because there is so much in here. Who do you think will be the next Awakened Graveborn? Honestly, Nick, I'm hoping. I would love to see Pharrell. I think they'll do someone probably a little bit newer, which is kind of what we're seeing. A lot of players are hoping that it's going to be Isabella. Isabella is one. So we need, who do we need? Satrana in here? Do I have any copies of Satrana? We do. Satrana, and then who was the other one? I think Shamira. I think it was the original version of Shamira. Glad I just didn't use her for food a second ago. We wouldn't be able to get the win in here. But yeah, there's a couple. I mean, Grez would be cool, and I think if they did like an Awakened hero with Grez, that would be interesting. That would be very interesting to see if they did something with like the Awakened version of Grez, like as a summoner. I think that would be just, in my opinion, guys, it would be absolutely epic if they did something with him. But again, we're going to have to see what it kind of looks like and what it looks like with the new heroes that are coming, because we know next should be technically a Wilder. Like what Finn said, there could be another Highborn Draconic hero before Graveborn, but that should be, we should see the Wilder next. I'm thinking a Wilder next, because after the Celestial, now we've already seen a couple. Yeah, it should be. I'm assuming the next one is probably going to be, because it's been a little bit since Skarath. Now we know we already got the Awakened version of Estrelda. We did get Skarath in here. And I believe the next is going to be a Wilder. So it is going to be a Awakened, Highborn Draconic next, and then the new hero. Now, if it's another Highborn Draconic hero, guys, good luck, because I haven't built a majority of them, just for the simple fact they are so incredibly expensive to get. But yeah, Finn is saying a Highborn Draconic hero next. Again, interesting to see because they are just so incredibly expensive to build. We just finished out Leviathan, but remember, I did not build Skyland. I did not build Halia. I've skipped a lot of Highborn Draconic heroes in there. Holding 500 cards. Yeah, 500 to 700. Most players have realized, Finn, that 500 cards are not going to get you the hero, which is kind of insane to think, but it's the honest truth, that you're not getting the hero with 500 cards. You need significantly more than that if you want to pull them. Are you at the point of the game where you're able to decipher which team comps out of the 4 would be most optical against enemy teams? Yeah, you kind of can. Oh, yeah, you get the 100 free. That's true. Yeah, it depends on who you're fighting, because if there's a lot more burst, there's heroes that are really good against burst. There's heroes that are really good against kind of squishier teams. Maybe a team that's a lot more crowd control risk versus being a lot more, burst that you need to counter it or defense it or crowd control it. Yeah, there's a couple things. Now we need Kren, which we have right here, and we need Flora, which I believe I got that free copy of Flora. Yeah, most people just copy and paste. Like what Finn said. Honestly, the team comps, if you have the heroes, guys, it's the easiest because you can actually use the team comps that we know are successful. There's actually been quite a few subs in there. You can do substitutions in a couple different places just for similar heroes that we have. That does work pretty well. Should I go for Awakened Athalia after Envy? I guess she will help with the Celestial Tower. Honestly, yes. So remember, the awakened version of Athalia is still having and is used in a ton of different places. If you want a hero that has the ability to run through the Celestial Tower, Finn says that the awakened Athalia is bad, but I still see a lot of utility in her, and I still do use her in a lot of different game modes. If you're struggling, you could even go in there and do Zora. Instead of doing the awakened version of Athalia, if you're using her specifically for the Celestial Tower. But again, when you look at the awakened version of Athalia, still being used in a couple of places if you don't have anyone else built. And that you kind of have to take and kind of put it in perspective, I guess, because if you don't have, or if you just maybe have one Celestial built, it might make a big difference if you build it. But we don't know who's coming next. And honestly, it's going to be, yeah, and that's it. So Awaken Athalia isn't bad. She doesn't do as much output as Envy because she's an older hero, kind of a power creep. Is she going to be a driving force in the tower? Yes. Are you going to use her in different places? Yes. Athalia does nothing pre-max build. I mean, if you're going to build her, build her. And even then, guys, when you look at any of your awakened heroes, guys, it's got to be a big build. Always, 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 it's got to be a big build. You're talking 30960 at a minimum to unlock all of their skills and abilities. If not, just think of just having a big gap where the hero is. If you don't have the skills and abilities built, you're not going to see it. Before 409 360, she was sitting duck for 4 months. Is she the coolest hero? Yes. There we go. Yeah, exactly. I still use the awakened version of Athalia. So there we go, guys. So that is 10 floors cleared. Boom. Let's go ahead and summon some of these up, open up all of these chests. And again, I'm going to have to go through all of those rare, but that gives us halfway through the build within there. Yeah, 24 million. That's going to be a couple more levels. That's going to open it up a little bit more to our power creep. And we do have another stone. Could it be a Celestial or a Hypo? Fingers crossed, guys. We got a copy of Kaz. Kaz is going to be fodder. We currently have 1 slot remaining. That's not even going to make sense. We're going to have to build out a lot of heroes, and we can only do Kaz. Yeah, I'm going to have to open up or get a couple more slots. Also use a lot more of these for food. Even looking at Kaz, we have a lot. We have a lot of copies of Kaz. Yeah, there's going to be another one. We can have Ogi. We can use Kaz. That will bring us double copies of Kaz. And again, that will bring up Ogi. And I think we also do have one more that's in here. We're building out Tamaris. Who else do we have? Solus. I'm not going to use in Kaz. I'm not going to use. They, again, are 2 that unfortunately we're not going to see for quite a while. But this will expedite it very, very quickly. And honestly, I would love to get 2 more copies of Garok. Should we go ahead and wait for Garok, or should we build Tamaris? Let me know, guys. Let me know in the comments. And look at that, Jaffa sending out some memberships. Big shout out, guys. We got Ryan in there, Jonathan, Ross, Ronnie, and Slippy Fist. Congratulations on the gifting of the membership, guys. That's absolutely awesome to see those little hippos right in there. Like I was saying, who do you think? Should we go ahead and build Tamaris? Let me know. Should we build Tamaris, or should we wait? Because I know there are going to be some rewards if we wait and we get some more copies of Garok, or if we save a couple diamonds, do those desired hero summons in there. We could build him up a little bit further. And I know he is also available within the Misty Valley. So he's in there. Tamaris is good. Tamaris. What else do we think? Do we think Tamaris? I think I'm going to go with Tamaris. That's what people are saying. Build Tamaris. Tamaris is good. Because again, if I build out Tamaris, we do have 2 copies right here. Definitely build Tamaris. All right, guys, you talked me into it, because this will give us, of course, the signature item, the enthusiasm buff. Boom, there's our signature item. Copy number 2 is going to take us right there to Mythic Plus. That's a huge build, guys. When it comes to the tower itself, that's going to be, I like the new Wilder, but again, I feel like we got to find a place for him. And honestly, looking in here, once we get Misha up to 5 stars, which we're very close, she is done in the entirety. Right, she have 5 stars done in the entirety, and I believe Aethys. I'm thinking Aethys. Yeah, we do have time for Garok. That's true, but I'm thinking almost with Aethys as well that we are going to build him out just a little bit further because I think 3 stars is where we had him pegged. Yeah, 3 stars. So again, a couple more stars right there on Aethys, and that will be done as well. So he will be done. Again, a couple more stars. Now looking here, we already swapped out Nevi. Again, we're not going to be engraving Nevi. Let me make sure I got this set over here. Because again, Nevi, we threw Grok in there. So we dropped out Nevi because again, Nevi, we're not going to engrave. We're going to leave her at that ascended level. And then, of course, getting some random scrolls in here to give us an epic, which is, I thought it was going to be Grok. Now, of course, Ivan is 1. We are taking to 5 stars, so I know we're pretty close. Maybe that is the last copy. Oh, no, that takes him to 4. 4 stars for Ivan. Again, we need a couple more pieces of furniture on there, but there is 4 stars. Yeah, the Wilder's doing much. So I used the free copy, and the Wilder Tower, again, I'm capped. I'm capped, which stinks. I'm a month on my new account, but stuck at 20 chapter or floor 20. No, it's hard with the Temple Rift, and I know a lot of players that are stuck exactly where you are for the simple fact that you don't have the heroes built and you can't garrison heroes in there. It is incredibly hard to go in there. How can I learn comp building? Is there any guide? Not really. I mean, you can do the general comps. And honestly, I can put something out there, but when it comes to the regular comps, like thinking of the Mihira comp, the Thor and Cheese comp, the Envy comp, even the Awakened version of Belinda, there are a lot of different compilations that are out there, but the comp is not a kind of one size fits all, because depending on the formation, depending on what heroes you have within the formation is what's going to make the big difference where you have those heroes built. But it also makes a really big difference on where in who you're fighting. That is the other big thing to remember, is when it comes to going in there and being able to look at the teams you're fighting, that is going to make a big difference on what comp, and also the beast. It depends, again, what you're using in different formations, what is going to work in different places. There's a lot. The comp building in here, again, it's not kind of a one size fits all for everything. It does take a lot more into account on who you're fighting, where you're fighting, and where it's at. What chapter are? I think 67, if I remember, Carol. I haven't done it in a while. I haven't pushed through a while because I hate the Mihira Liberta comp. It always seems to have a mega point of RNG, which is very hard. You get to the point where the comps very much based on the hero and the enemies. Chapter 72 is pretty much no sub anyway, because yeah, you need the exact heroes and you need them built. I'm using 1 copy of Zora in Awakened Chimera used. Yeah, and a lot of players said Zora. So if you look, if you're stuck on there, a lot of players have been using Zora to kill out the Temple Rift boss, even having a basic comp, or if you're lucky enough by chance to get the ability to merc one in there, meaning that it actually comes from the Rift itself. Because I think I'm at 120, 140, 161. I pushed all the way to 161. I got to pick up my 4th team in here. We stopped at 161. And again, going through here, we've been farming quite a bit. Do we have anything we can get in here? I was just thinking about it. No, we bought out all of the 160s. Yeah, so we're building a lot more in here. And again, I don't want to worry about any of the heroes. We got to get to 200. I'm going to be able to buy all of this out. And again, even with newer free-to-play accounts, we have pushed through all of these, and through the days and all the free-to-play accounts that we've had, we've actually been able to push through a lot of these religiously, which is really, really cool to see. But we have made and been able to, again, kind of push through a lot of the content over and over again. It did take a while to get through, but it comes in time, and it really does come in time. I summoned a Zora really lucky pull. That's awesome. Because if you can pull a copy early, it's absolutely just epic. And again, Zora, and again, having early SP effects make a big difference within AFK Arena, and it really does. I'm going to try to bring this up to do the gifting of the membership, guys. And if you haven't joined, hop over on the finance channel. It is my name. It is Dennis. I'll put a link down here. But yeah, the finance channel. We are growing like crazy on the finance channel. I'm over 8,000 subscribers over there. Gained about 400 last month, which is kind of incredible to see. But yeah, finance channel has been absolutely going through, and I'm hoping that it's going to populate. I'm hoping it's going to bring up the ability to gift a membership, because unfortunately I cannot do it on the account that I'm on the Furry Hippo Gaming account. It only lets me do stickers and chat, which is kind of stupid. So we've actually hopped over and done this a couple times. Don't want to miss out on the gifting of the membership, but want to make sure, and a big shout out again to Jaffa for gifting some of those. So that is going to pop up in just a minute. You can go ahead, and that is the gifting of the membership, which, crazy enough, guys, quick story before we're done here, because I know we're right around an hour. I've actually had a couple players from AFK Arena that have found me on the finance channel with just literally randomly found, and I don't know if it was a recommendation, and congratulations, Risk, but I don't know if it was recommendations or I don't know what it was, but it was kind of crazy. That is the YouTube channel. That is my financial channel. Like I said, we've been really growing it a ton, and that's what I do professionally. It's very cool. But overall, when it comes to AFK Arena, guys, again, there's been some players that are like, hey, do you have a gaming channel? Hey, do you play AFK Arena? It was very, very cool to see that, again, random players through years in time of doing AFK Arena that we haven't gotten in, and we've seen it. Yeah, I got it recommended. There you go. Z Games got it recommended there, which interesting enough, because that to me is kind of an odd recommendation to bridge the gap. I guess it's because people watch me, but it's pretty cool to see. We're getting there, but overall, guys, that is going to do it. I'm going to go through here. I'm going to try to clean up a lot of this, clean up a lot of these cards, and we have 10 more. Oh, we're saving those. I know we're saving those. As much as I would love to just go in there and pull the next one. I'm going to save a couple of those because I know right now, based on like the Stargazer, after pulling Envy, it really looks to building the Awakened version of Chimera. As much as I would love to come in, and I know we do already have one copy of the Awakened version of Chimera, I would love to see who is coming next. I'm a free-to-play player and have 3 Awakened Heroes at 5 stars and level 80 engraving. That is awesome, Crystal. Honestly, and thinking about the Awakened Heroes, when you start thinking about really probably season 1, season 2, possibly even some of the Awakened Heroes in season 3, there's no point of getting those at this level of AFK Arena. With them being, so far out of meta formations, there's not really a reason to get them. Stick with the tier list, stick with the meta heroes in there, continue building them up kind of one by one, and you'll make a ton of progression a lot faster than normal players. And honestly, burning through a lot of content in AFK Arena, it does go by quick. It really does go by quick when you're building all of these out. And look at that, guys. We got a new sub here as well. A big shout out to Evgeny Gevi. Thank you for subbing to the channel, guys. Absolutely epic. But I know the live streams have been kind of off on the timing that we're doing them. So I'm thinking next week we're going to be able to go to the regular time at that 1 p.m. But guys, that is going to do it for today's stream. I know we're a little bit over on time. Definitely going to make some more progression, but we got those copies we wanted of Envy, built out a lot more heroes, which is exactly what we were looking for. Already up to level 302 and just continuing to climb. Even right now, guys, 303, 330 is the cap that we see right here. Building it out every single day, just grinding this. And I'm going to hop back in the towers, gained a couple more levels, got a couple of heroes, including Rosaline and Tamaris build. Going to be able to make a lot more progression. So again, guys, that is going to do it for today's stream. Thank you guys for joining me. All the love, all the super chats, all the gifting of the memberships. Absolutely epic to see how much. And guys, we're north of 40,000. We're north of 40,000 subscribers on the channel already. So it is kind of cool to see. But guys, again, that is going to do it for the stream. So I'll catch you guys later. And as always, thank you guys for watching.